Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lesson 12. Hopefully you've had a chance to already complete this slide, but if you haven't yet, please pause the video and complete your annotations and the ratio table and the double number line, and then answering the question at the end. Once you're finished with that, please unpause this video so that you can go over it and see what areas you can improve and what areas you already did well for yourself. Hopefully you've had a chance to pause the video. And so now what we're going to do is take a look at the information that should already be on your slide, and you can compare it to see if you were on the right track. Please pause this video often to make sure that you are perfectly accurate in each area. So to begin with, I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to highlight the key numbers. I noticed that there is 400 miles in between the two main cities mentioned in this story. And so I'm going to highlight that one color. And then I'm going to highlight the other amounts in a different color so that I can keep track of time and distance differently. So this is the total time that it took them. This is the total distance it took them to get between those two cities. Next, I'm going to complete the ratio table that we see on the side. And since complete is an action word, it's telling me to do something, I'm going to underline it. It's a key word. Then I see that another place for annotation is the amount of time traveled. Well, that connects to time like hours, and so I'm going to highlight that with the same color. And then for distance traveled, that connects to the miles, and so that's an amount that is going to connect in that color. Distance is in miles in this problem. If you highlighted all of it the same, that's okay, but if you highlighted the miles differently than the distance traveled, you do need to change that. The annotation colors should match with those. And then same thing for hours and time. They need to match even if all of them are the same color. All right, so the next thing is we know that based off of this, there's a ratio here. 400 miles is the total distance. 8 hours is the total time. And so wherever I see that in the table, I need to make sure that I connect them. So if you put the number 8 here, well done. That was the ratio. If you put the 8 anywhere else, you do need to fix your table. So then that helps us to figure out the main trip. What happened in the main trip? Well, actually, we could just copy the distances from the table because the distance between each city is the same as what builds up to 400. So we have 100, 200, 300, and then 400. The time is the one that we have to kind of calculate. So if we think about time, this is the fourth box down. So I would need to divide by 4 to figure out what I'm counting by. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. So if I count by 2s, 2, 4, 6, yeah, that will work. So I'm going to put 2 here. And then I recommend that you pause the video so that you can refill out the table if you needed to make any adjustments. And then you can unpause the video and check to see if all your numbers are correct. Okay, so hopefully you had a chance to fill out the table either again or make sure that you were on the right track and unpause the video. So now we have all of the distances and times for not only the trip to the town, but all the way back through those same towns. And so each ratio represents stopping at a different town or at least passing through it. And we can see that the total distance was actually 800, double that of between the two cities because you're going there and back. So 800 total. And then the distance of, the total time was 8 hours there. So then 8 hours back gets us to 16 hours. So that's the total. Now what we're going to do is complete the double number line to help us into the next piece of this. So I'm going to underline where it says to complete because those are actions. I need to annotate through underlining keywords. And then just like the ratio table, the tape diagram, the double number line diagram, my bad, has the ratio of 8 and the 400, or 400 to 8. 8 hours, 400 miles. And so it's going to build up by the same thing. To build up to the 8, you need to go by 2s. So 2, 4, 6, 8. And to build up to 400, you need to count by 100s. 100, 200, 300, and so on. All right, so I'd recommend that you pause the video again, make sure that you fill in all of the numbers, then you can unpause the video to check if you were right. All right, welcome back. So go ahead and take a look, see if yours matches with mine for the double number line. I ended with 16 and 800. I made a mistake actually while I was paused, and I found that mistake. It's really easy to just kind of jump ahead in your mind really quickly. So I actually went straight from 600 to 800 and then realized, oh no, I wasn't supposed to get there. And so we all make mistakes, and it's important then that we find those mistakes and fix them. So now we have a double number line that can help us with the final piece of this part of the example. Then we'll talk about the rest in the next part. So using the double number line, how many miles would be traveled in 1 hour? Okay, so time, I used green, so I'm going to highlight this green. If you didn't, make sure that it matches with the other highlights that you had here. And then place this star on the evidence. Okay, 1 hour. Let me see hours. Well, for hours, I'm counting by twos, not by ones. And so I noticed that there's this pink line in the middle, and that makes me think that, oh, maybe I could like cut it in half or something to figure out what's happening um, at that time. So I'm going to move this star here, and that's going to be the 1 hour mark. So then I have to think about, well, what's in the middle, halfway between 0 and 100? Because between 0 and 2 is 1 hour, so between 0 and 100 is my answer. So what's half of 100? Okay, hopefully you got 50. And so I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste my sentence answer here. And then I don't need the highlight, but you can keep the highlight if you want. It says that the train travels blank miles for each hour because you find half of 100 and half of 2. So half of 2 was 1, so 1 hour, and half of 100 was 50. So I'm going to put 50 in here. And so it should read that the train is going 50 miles for every hour, or for each hour. And that's because those two numbers are each half of the 100 and the 2. So 50, and then each refers to 1, which is half of 100 and half of 2. All right, so I look forward to continuing this example in class. We'll do the rest of this work together.